Is there anything that you do now in your 40s that you did not do before? My 40s definitely has been a time of self-discovery. I'm going to share 5 things I started doing in my 40s that I never did before. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jodie. I did a video a few weeks ago on 5 things I no longer do now that I'm in my 40s, and this video is going in the other direction. Let's talk about things that I started doing in my 40s that really make my life better. I'm going to be honest. If you're not 40 yet, I hope this is helpful to you, and if you are 40 or older, I hope it's also helpful. And share, please, in the comments as you're watching this, what are things that you started doing? I'm so curious what has happened for other people experiencing the same time and season of life. The first thing I started doing in my 40s that I really only ever did very sporadically before that decade of life is lifting weights. I was a cardio junkie. I chased that runner's high, that sweat. I love cardio. I still love cardio. However, I noticed in my late 30s and early 40s, my body wasn't changing. It was staying the same. It wasn't toned. It wasn't defined. COVID was a huge eye-opener. My whole family started doing Beachbody and all these at-home workouts. And my sister kept pushing me to take a before picture, take a before picture. She was really into Beachbody. And I did. It was a huge eye-opener because I always looked at myself as fit. I was always active. I was always slim. But to look at my body and see that it really, really wasn't toned, it was flabby. For lack of a better, more educated word, it was flabby. And I started lifting weights. The first thing I started doing was the Beachbody workouts my sister was doing, and then it just progressed and it changed, and I really started working in weights several times a week, and now it's almost every other workout. I have seen the most change in my body. I have felt stronger. I have felt better about myself. And if you haven't been lifting weights as you're getting older, you have to start, even if it's just a little bit. It does make a huge difference in how you feel and how you look. And it's really, really important for your bone health too. My mom has osteoporosis, and it's something I started to focus on because I saw what she had gone through with bone loss. Lifting weights really became instrumental in my 40s, and I urge you to start if you don't yet. I have my coffee because it is a rainy day right now, and we snuck out this morning and got Starbucks because it's going to storm all day. And I have my swig. If you don't know what these are, they go on iced coffees, lattes, drinks, hot coffees, and they keep the temperature either cold or hot. But what I love is on an iced latte, it keeps my drink cold and my hands warm. Does anyone else know that crocheting is in right now? I did not know. And I work at a high school, and the next thing I started doing was learning how to crochet. This came about because, I've told this story before, I was young when I had my kids, and we kind of grew up together. In my 40s, now my kids are starting to become more independent. They're ready to move out. They're graduating college, graduating high school. My youngest is 15. And all of a sudden, I went from constantly having a buddy, constantly having somewhere to go, constantly having something to do, to having time to myself. What I didn't like was realizing how much time I was now spending on screens. It didn't fill me up, it didn't make me happy. And very quickly, I enlisted in the help of some of the students at the high school, and I asked them, teach me how to crochet, show me. And I had kids bring their needles and bring their yarn, and we would sit when I would talk with them and counsel them about college, and we would make little things. We just made honestly nothings. It was just back and forth so I could learn how to stitch. I was so proud. The first thing I made on my own, I have it right here. It's like a coaster. I just went in circles because honestly I didn't really know how to do it. And the big breakthrough for me came when one of the custodians, Guadalupe, love you Guadalupe, not that she'll ever see this, she came in and saw me and she said, stop overthinking it. Just do it. Just do it. Because I kept thinking stitch, stitch, count stitches. And she said, just do it. So I just started doing it. Once I learned how to stitch, I started crocheting. I was okay if I made a mistake, and it was okay if it wasn't perfect. I kept making things until finally I made my first blanket, and it was a baby blanket. It was little. And I have made many blankets now. I made this blanket behind me. This is a massive, very heavy blanket, and I tied the ends off because I'm telling you, this was a lot of work. I love creating. That is part of the reason I started YouTube. It's a creative outlet for me, just like crocheting is. And in my 40s, the one thing I wanted to do was to enhance my life and be creative and to not sit on a screen. I want to be active and I want to better myself any way I can. And one of those ways was learning how to crochet. I love it. Guys, definitely find something that fills your time, that is peaceful and just brings you silence and peace. And I'm telling you, crocheting does. I really enjoy it, and it is something that I started in my 40s. And I plan to continue. Along with the crocheting, really, and creating and hobbies was doing things for myself and making things for myself. I took a hard look at what I was consuming, what I was eating, what I was spending my money on. And while I do love to spend money on coffee, and I love to spend money on good loaves of bread, and I love, love, love ice cream, all three of those things I have learned to make myself. And this was a game changer for me. I really enjoy it. I did make a video on how I make my sourdough bread. I love making sourdough now. I do it every weekend. It is a skill now that I have, and on a holiday or for a gift, I can make a fresh loaf of sourdough. I can crochet a blanket. And I am a huge gift giver, and you can see in my channel, I have so many gift guides. Homemade gifts will always be number one to me, always. And if you can make a blanket, if you can make fresh bread and you can gift it, there is nothing that can replace that. I did buy myself a Ninja Creamy ice cream maker, and I still have to add a video on how I make my ice cream, but I am a huge ice cream connoisseur. I really would call myself an ice cream connoisseur. I love ice cream. I bought a Ninja Creamy ice cream maker because I was consuming a lot of ice cream, and it hit me that I can control what is in my ice cream. And I make my ice cream now with Fairlife milk, sometimes non-dairy milk. I control what I'm consuming by making it, and that has really been a difference for me. And coffee, I have switched now. I still love to get my coffee. However, I brew my own several days a week. And not only is this saving money, it's making me more mindful of what's going in my body because I'm making it myself. And that is a huge difference. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot lighter, healthier. I've actually lost weight when I started making my own ice cream. No surprise there. If you don't want to create in the terms of crocheting or art or crafts, you could learn how to bake and make things. And I tell you, making your own food, it's very rewarding, and it makes you feel really good. Okay, guys, it's story time. My husband lost his job during COVID. This is a truth-telling place. This is a place of honesty, and he lost his job. We lived in Pennsylvania. We scurried to find something that would pay and support our family that was similar to what he was doing. And unfortunately, where we lived, there was not a market for that. He was forced to either change careers and set himself back professionally or expand his search. And we always wanted to be warm, and we started looking in other areas. He landed in North Carolina, and we love it here. However, that in your 40s, when you have children that are in their teens, that is not an easy move to make, especially when your whole family is where you were. My sister lived in the same town. My mom lived in the same town. It was a lot. Our very best friends lived there. We walked away from a group of people, from a support network that really still, I could tear up, means a lot to me. Me being a positive person, I will say, I tried to make the best of it. My kids blossomed. They did very well. My older kids struggled more than my younger kids, which surprised me. But the one thing in my 40s that brought me was simplicity. It brought me to a place where I slowed down, because after that move, we ended up here in North Carolina, and everything that I was so entrenched in Pennsylvania, in the friends, in the schools, in the commitments, all of that was gone. It was a lot to get used to, but it was also very relieving. There's a lot less stress when all of a sudden you don't have these commitments. Now, I'm not saying to blow everyone off in your life. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it did teach me a lesson about slowing down. I was going 100 miles an hour. My kids through elementary, middle, and high school, I was super involved. They all were on teams and involved in things. I was seeing family, helping family. It was a lot. And we moved here, and all of a sudden you don't know anybody. You can go in the grocery store and just buy your groceries. It was actually, the way I describe it, it was like we went on vacation and never went home. So if you've ever wondered what that feels like, I know what that feels like. We went on vacation and never went home because we moved to an area where the weather was nice. It's beautiful. The culture is different. We've really enjoyed the culture here. We've been here about 5 years now, and we really, really love it. I know God brought us here for a reason. However, you still miss the people that you don't see anymore, obviously, and there is sadness, and you miss them. But slowing down in my 40s was a gift. It was a blessing from above that I was not expecting. And you don't realize how run down you are until you're forced to stop and slow down. I will say, moving here and being pulled from all of my commitments and everyone that we knew, it forced me to slow down. It forced me to focus on my family and my home, which I already did, but even more so now. And I am very, very grateful for that. My tripod is acting up. So if I slide to the side, it is because my tripod is acting up. Last but not least, the grand finale. The one thing that I truly did not focus on until I hit my 40s was self-care. I did little bits of self-care, but really, I did not focus on self-care. This is a place of truth, and I will be honest. I am a huge lover of Botox, and I'm a huge lover of lip filler. Now, disclaimer, I grew up with very close family friends, and one of those close family friends went into dermatology. And I stumbled into Botox because she needed someone to come into her office and be like a face for the reps that were coming in and bringing these products. And I'm very, hey, let's do it. I'm not usually cautious about that. I loved it. I started doing that in my mid to late 30s, and I have never looked back. And I did start doing lip filler because actually it was my YouTube videos, looking at myself and watching myself. I saw that my lips were thinner, and I wanted to feel better about that. And I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm saying it's do what you want to do, and it's not for everybody, but it has made me feel better about myself. And obviously my hair, I have my hair done and I get my hair colored. Now, I will say, when I say I wasn't into self-care, I am a minimalist in many things. I don't like a lot of makeup. I don't like a lot of products. I just don't own a lot of clothes and fancy things. I like to be comfortable. However, my haircuts were so bad because I had met a lady, and she's the nicest lady. She actually has passed away, and it broke my heart. Mary Beth. Mary Beth, we miss you. She worked at Holiday Hair. When she transitioned to another studio, she offered to come to our house and cut hair. And I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna pay her to come to our house. The trouble with that is you're in a kitchen with not the best lighting, and she would just assembly line cut our hair. And there were many days I left with really bad haircuts. Not really by fault of her, because I'd say I want it short, and I always wanted my hair short when my kids were younger. I'd have these bobs and these layered cuts that really did not look great. And the color wasn't always great because she was working out of my kitchen. But it was cheap, and it was affordable, and it was easy because all my kids could get their hair cut. I could get my hair done, and that was it. That's not really self-care. That's me just doing what's easy, doing what's affordable, and not taking my time out as a mom to do what I should be doing to make myself feel the best I can. And man, I'm gonna put some of these haircuts on the screen. They are so bad. I am so glad I started focusing on self-care You feel better when you take care of yourself. I do. When I feel good about how I look, it makes the world of difference. I'm not into dressing fancy. I like to be comfortable at all costs, but I want to be happy when I look in the mirror, and all of those things that I started doing in my 40s really help with that, along with finding the right products. I will say, if you don't have a good tretinoin, gosh, if you watch my videos, you know I'm terrible when it comes to words, and I'm trying to tell you something. However, tretinoin, retinol, get yourself a good retinol cream. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more content. I do a little of everything on this channel. I'm a mom. I love to travel. I love to share what I love. And if that is for you, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.